everyone, so I'm back today for you with another makeup tutorial. This is going to be very simple and very basic, which is pretty much everything that I love in makeup anyway, but so many of you guys have been asking me on my recent videos what I've been wearing makeup wise. I've been going for a very natural look, very simple, which may not seem like the most exciting thing to make a video on, but I love watching natural makeup tutorials, really simple basic routines with minimal products, so that is what I'm going to do for you today. So the base I'm going to start with is a cushion foundation. I've been so into cushion foundations and I think it was kind of the natural progression for me to go down. I'm such a tinted moisturizer gal. I love minimal, lightweight coverage. This has been one of my favorites recently. It's from Chanel. It's the Healthy Base Glow Gel Touch Foundation from the Beiges collection. This one's actually a little bit different. It has a mesh over it and the product kind of comes through the mesh. I like it. It's pretty cool. And my favorite way to apply these cushion foundations, although you are supposed to use the cushion, that's the whole point, I like using a beauty sponge. So I just dip my sponge in there as you would do with the cushion. I make sure the sponge is really wet so it doesn't absorb too much product. And I've just been kind of taking this mainly in the center of my face, so just the places I have redness to cover. I have a few little breakouts and things to cover up today, so I'm probably going to use more of this than I would do on a normal basis. But even if you do build this up, it doesn't get cakey, it's really nice. It's just super kind of radiant looking. So I'm going to conceal with the It Cosmetics by Undereye concealer. This is the regular version, not the illuminating one, because I'm going to use this all over my face. Although this is kind of mainly for under eyes, it is super full cover, so I do like it on days when I have just a little bit more to cover up. Now this one is maybe a little bit too light for me, but we're going to go with it. We're going to work with it. You can see how pigmented this is. It's so good for covering up anything you want to cover, especially dark circles. So this is probably the heaviest part of my makeup routine, just the concealer under my eyes, but you all know I'm a concealer girl. Love it, need it, can't be without it. And my whole kind of, what would you call it, foundation formula is to stick to a really light foundation and then just cover anything that needs to be covered with concealer, rather than just going straight in with something really heavy and really full coverage everywhere when you wouldn't necessarily need it on the rest of your skin. I'm just going to use the pointy end of my beauty sponge here. This is a Real Techniques one, to conceal those little red patches and blemishes. I have one right here at the top of my lip, which is not the easiest place to cover. So I'm going to go in with a little extra concealing step just for under my eyes. This isn't really necessary, but I like to do it when I'm using this concealer. This is the Charlotte Tilbury The Retoucher, and it's a really brightening, creamy concealer. So I just like to put it under my eyes, just here in the bit where it gets really dark. It's quite a peachy tone, this concealer, so it does a really good job of just knocking out the last little bits of purple that are usually under there. So I think it makes a lot of difference just doing this extra step. So I'm going to set all of that, especially under my eyes, with, I've just realised this is a very Charlotte Tilbury heavy video, but I'm going to use the Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. It's so finely milled and it's just the perfect setting powder for any makeup, so that I'm going to concentrate underneath my eyes just to keep all that concealer in place. And then I am just going to take that over the rest of my face lightly, because I'm going to use powder products today, so I want those all to sit really nicely on my skin. I think we can officially say summer's over because I have put down my cream products for now anyway, and I'm back to powders, so it must be autumn. I'm just going to quickly fill my brows in while we're here. What am I using at the moment? This is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I'm kind of back into this. I actually bought a couple of new ones because I was really struggling to find a colour that matched my hair at the moment. Complete first world problems, I know. I went for soft brown in the end. I got soft brown and caramel. I can't really tell much of a difference between both of those shades, but they're both a little bit warmer than I was using before. I was using ash brown, and this one just has a bit more warmth in it now that my roots are a little bit more warm toned. So this definitely works much better. So I'm going to set those down now that I've filled them in. I've been using Glossier Boy Brow. I know I had some feelings about this when I first got it and I wasn't really that into it. But I tried it again recently, and this is the blonde shade, which I think I definitely prefer. I was using the brown one, and I think the blonde is just a lot more subtle. It's not as strong. It gives them a nice definition, so it really kind of defines each hair, and I think that makes your brows look a lot fuller, and I love a full brow. I really do. So this has been my brow gel of choice recently. This palette is so loved in my collection. I think I've probably even used it in a video before, but everything you need is in here. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette. It has highlighter, bronzer, blusher, and then eyeshadows as well, 3 eyeshadows. You could even use this one here as a brow colour if you wanted to. I love it, and it's what I've been reaching for the most recently. It's super natural too. It's just a really nice set of colours. I really like the Charlotte Tilbury bronzer, and I think it might be the same one in her actual bronzer and highlight palette, which I still have yet to ever try. But if it is anything like this bronzer, then I think I'd enjoy it, because it's just the perfect colour. It's really warm, but still kind of subtle and really buildable. So I like this a lot. I think this palette also comes in a few different shades, so if you want something a bit different. And then for the blushes, I kind of mix these 2 colours together. So I just dip my brush into each one. And then for my eyes as well, I'll just use a combination of these 3 usually. I mix these 2 together and put those all over the lid. I love Charlotte Tilbury products. They're just super blendable. That's the word that comes to mind the most when I think about her powder products. They just go on seamlessly. And I'm such a messy eyeshadow wearer. I never sit here and blend and use all different brushes. I'm just kind of a bit of a lazy girl when it comes to eyeshadow, let's be honest. This darker matte shade I'll just put into the crease here, just to give a bit of extra definition to my puffy eyelids. So if I'm feeling like it, I will take one of these little smudgy pencil brushes and go back into that darkest shade and just kind of smoke out my lash line a little bit. I was thinking the other day about the fact that I haven't worn liquid liner for so long, and that stuff used to be permanently attached to my face. So this is kind of the step that I prefer to do now, just to have a little bit of something brown and soft and smoky just in my lash line instead of liquid liner. I'm still using this L'Oreal Paradise mascara. It's the Paradise Ecstatic mascara actually. I'm not sure about this. I keep using it and I keep picking it up, but it's definitely not the best L'Oreal mascara out there. But some of you guys have told me how much you love this. So I think mascara is totally subjective and it really depends on the person, but I'm still using it. I think it's a nice everyday mascara. So now for the fun part. This has been my favourite thing to do recently. I've been taking this Clinique Chubby stick, which is kind of quite a warm tone colour, but it's really soft and buildable. It's quite a sheer formula. And then this really tiny little Sigma pinpoint concealer brush. This brush is great for so many things, but I've been dipping into this and just getting a little bit on there and then drawing on some freckles. This started with this blemish that I have here. I thought, there is no way I'm concealing this. I'll just turn it into a beauty mark. And thus I started drawing on freckles. I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a really quick and easy way to make your makeup look super natural and a little bit youthful as well. So I literally just take this and I'm dotting it all over. I start by doing some very small, very pinpoint freckles, and then I'll do some slightly larger ones because freckles, they're never the same. And I've just kind of been keeping it to this part of my face, so the bridge of my nose and then down the sides, but sometimes I'll put a few around my eyes. I do have freckles here, they're just not quite strong enough to show through my makeup, so I kind of just enhance what I already have there. They may be freckles, they may be age spots, but I'm going to stick to the story that they're freckles. I've also got an eye pencil here from Marc Jacobs in a much darker brown, and I'll do literally the same thing with this, just over the top, just to give a little bit of extra dimension because freckles are never the same colour. So to finish off my skin, I'm going to use the highlighter from the Charlotte Tilbury palette just as a final step, and I find just putting this over the top of everything, especially the little freckles, faux freckles I should say, just finishes everything off, and a little bit at the end of my nose as well, I've been really liking to do. This is all very natural, this makeup. There's a lot of brown, neutral tones. And I think using a pink lipstick just really brings it all together. My favourite pink lipstick at the moment is the one that Moon destroyed earlier in the week. She ate it. So I no longer have that, but this one's kind of close. It's from MAC, it's Runway Hit. And this is part of the Retro Matte range, which I love. I think it's one of the nicest MAC lipstick formulations. And here is the little lipstick eater herself. What do you have to say? Ooh, she just wanted to do her own Get Ready With Me. Stay tuned for Moon's get ready with me. So that is the finished look. That is my natural kind of freckled skin, really super glowy, minimal makeup look. I have been wearing this so much and I love it. So I hope you guys liked it too. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Bye.